Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's the bald chef of Bergamo. It's a rainy day. It's Sunday. I was supposed to be at a golf tournament and it got rained out. So when you get served lemons, you make lemonade on a rainy Sunday. Instead of making lemonade, we're gonna make some pretzels. There's football on the TV today. Over at my uncle's. I'm gonna do variations of soft pretzels. One just the standard pretzel, another, maybe some stuffing, another, some super stuffing. We'll give it a shot. Simple recipes. Bald Chef of Bergamo. Let's get at it. So we're gonna start off by putting 360 milliliters of warm water and the standard 2 teaspoons or a packet of yeast. I'm just going to measure mine out. I'm going to do quarter teaspoons here, but I gotta get 8 of them plus a little bit more. Maybe I'm gonna lose track, but as you see, it's not that big of a deal. And that's good enough. Packet of yeast. And also, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of sugar. I'm gonna mix this up and make sure my yeast is nice and hungry and excited. I'll mix that up, and while that froths up, I'm gonna measure out 570 grams of flour. I've already done it, 570 grams of flour. And then I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of salt to the flour. So let me make sure I get the yeast incorporated, mixed up, let that froth, and we'll get the rest of the flour prepped. Okay, so you can see that yeast is healthy, frothing up. Most people think it's, when I say froth, is it can make a bunch of suds and fill up this container. No, but you can see that it is active and it's ready to go. And to that, I'm gonna add about 4 tablespoons of melted butter. We're gonna do these are soft pretzels, so we wanna make certain we get plenty of butter in our pretzels. And I measured out that 570 grams of flour. And then I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm gonna add about half of it, maybe about 2/3 of that here. And I'm gonna put it into our KitchenAid. Put this down like that, like this, plug it in. It's my wife in the background. And we're good to go. I'll mix this. After I incorporate most of it, I'll add the rest of the flour. And then I'll add, if I need to add more, I'll add more. But I hold back some flour because I want to make certain if I had too much flour, I can't take it back. So you can always add a little more water, but that kind of causes a little bit of problem in the incorporation. So I want to go ahead and do it this way, and then over time I'll add more flour if needed. Let's have this mix up and we'll go. So you can see the consistency, it's like a batter, like really sticky stuff. So I'm gonna turn it off, and I'm gonna add the rest of the flour. And it's probably still not gonna be enough, so I'll just add that in. And the key to this is when you go to turn it on slowly so it doesn't puff up. Let that incorporate. And it's okay to do this over iterations, right? I mean, everybody's measurements are a little differently. Everybody's flour is different. This is a bread flour that I'm using. The moisture is different in each area. You may need to add a little less or a little more flour. So we'll go like this, wait till we get it incorporated, and if I need to top off a little bit extra flour, we'll do that. I'll show you what the consistency we're looking for, okay? So I've added all the flour, and I've had to add probably another 1/4 cup of flour to a 1/2 cup of flour to get this consistency. You see it's all come together. And just wanted to, show you what we got here. The sides are fairly clean, right? So I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna cover it. You can cover it with a plate. I cover it with a plate. You can cover it with some saran wrap, plastic wrap. Set it aside for an hour. Keep it out of the light. And it'll double in size, and then we'll be ready to work in the pretzels. Okay, so it's been an hour. I've got my dough. It's risen. What I've done here, I'm going to do a couple variations. So this one is about a half of the standard recipe that I laid out for you earlier. See the consistency of it here.
Can we get some water?
See, dopo. I'm doing a video for pretzels.
Can you get some water?
Un minuto, amore.
Okay, I'm gonna cut this into, let's say, half there, half here,
Half everywhere.
half everywhere. Esatto, Mickey, bravo, good job. I'm gonna take this and roll it out.
Roll, roll, roll.
Looks
Your
like you're making
dough.
garlic.
Your
No,
dough.
it's done.
I'm making pretzels.
Yeah, it looks like you're making garlic now.
Esatto.
Also roll for garlic.
And it's gonna be, I don't know, 20 some odd inches when I get it all done. Well, depending on the size you want, I may cut this in half. Make a little knot. And we're gonna have ourselves little mini soft pretzels. Kind of pretzel knots instead of a standard pretzel. You could do various variations of that if you want. I tend to think that this allows it, and it'll stick together. This will stick together a little better than the standard pretzel design when you go to put it in the water, the flash of the bath of the baking soda. This, put this half there because this one's already pretty long.
Okay, let's see how you make a knot.
So you make a knot like that. And then I will get these prepped, and then the other batches I'll do the special recipe for, and we'll get that on camera in a minute here, okay? So we'll check back in a couple minutes as I get those ready to go.
Let's show it. Bello.
Okay, check back in a few minutes. Okay, so while I was forming the pretzels, I have some water boiling in the pot, and I'm going to take a 1/4 cup of baking soda. This is important. Do not add a 1/4 cup of baking soda all at once. It will foam over. See, you got to add a little bit at a time. This will change the acidity of the water, which will help provide a little bit of that flavor and consistency of your pretzels. So I got this boiling. I'm gonna throw these in for 30 seconds. My timer doesn't have a second, so I gotta do a minute, and then I gotta verify after 25-30 seconds that I'm pulling these out. Okay. And as you can see, this is a beautiful plate about Uncle Cool and Zia Stefani.
When we got married.
That was so long ago. That's back when I was cool. You know, now I'm just old.
You're just a ball chef.
All right.
You weren't at the time.
All right. Okay.
Look lovely.
Give it about 30 seconds. So I'll take them out. I kind of puffed up a little bit, a slight bloom. And I'll take them out, and I will kind of clean them off a little bit. I don't want all that sodium bicarbonate, the baking soda, in my on the pretzels when I bake it. So I want to put them on, set them over here for a second. Oh, there you go. I'll set them aside, and then I'll show you how to dust them off when we go to bake them. These are the standard pretzels, okay? Check back later. Now I'm going to do a little slight variation. I take the same pretzel dough. It's kind of variation, a little bit of garlic. Got some Italian seasonings. Gonna spice this up a little bit. Make a little pizza stromboli knots or something like that. A little spicy seasoning, Italian spices, a little crushed red pepper. We got a little bit of salami that is sliced up. I'm going to take a little bit of, just a little bit of mozzarella, Pretzel mozzarella, bello fresca. Like that. I'm going to wrap it up and make a little knot, just a little pizza knots. So I've taken the pretzels and I put them on this, you can put them on parchment paper. I've got them on this little silicone thing that I like because it'll last. Just wash it. I've got a little egg wash. I got the oven at 450. Make sure you cut everything because that's going to give it a little bit of flavor, but also a nice brown look and feel to it. After I get the egg wash on, I'll sprinkle my coarse sea salt or salt flakes. And then I'll put in the oven for 15 minutes or so. It may take 20 depending. And then they'll be ready. And while those are cooking, I'll finish up the other variations of the pretzels that we're going to do. Okay, so let me keep dusting these and I'll put the salt on. And then in the oven at 450 degrees. So these are the mozzarella salami with the Italian spices. I gave it the egg wash. And just a little bit of salt on top. I'm going to put those in the oven for the same amount. And then these are a little concoction, a little pesto stuff, just a little bit of pesto inside. Made the knots, got pretty messy with the olive oil, but that's fine. Then I'm going to coat them with olive oil and the pesto itself. So let's see how these turn out. We'll have 3 variations. You can see over here we've got these came out of the oven and they look great. Let me get the others in. Let's get at it. Okay, so I got the standard pretzel recipe, little knots, pretzel knots. Then over here I have the pretzel pizzas with a little mozzarella, salami, nice Italian spice, perfect glaze there.
Pizza pretzels.
Pizza pretzels, and you can see some of the mozzarella is seeped out there. And then here are the pesto knots with the pretzel dough. So lots of flavor here. We'll check them out. What do you think, Mickey? Bald chef of Bergamo?
Bald chef of mix.
Bald chef of mixing different things. Bald chef of Bergamo. Good eats.
Hot treats.